Okay, good morning. My name is Scotty Vosberg. I am the Market Center Tech Trainer in Leesburg, Winchester, in Northern Virginia. And I'm also an agent licensed in Virginia and West Virginia. So and I'm a certified Docusign trainer. So I'm just gonna talk to you today about Docusign. And if you have any questions, by all means, go ahead and you don't have to hold them till the end. You can just put them down in chat. I'll try to follow that at the same time. You can also unmute yourself and ask them that way too. It doesn't bother me. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Just have to figure out which screen I'm sharing today. Okay. In order to get into Docusign, well, the first thing you want to do is you want to go under your look under your profile settings.
Did you leave it?
No,
Go into settings.
you have to check it.
He's supposed to tell me.
And if you're ever having trouble with Docusign, either opening or it doesn't look like it's talking properly to command, the first thing you want to go in and check is right here under, it's just under your settings up under your profile picture. And you want to make sure that it states that it's connected. Don't disconnect your account, but you just want to make sure that you see that it's connected, because sometimes it can get disconnected and you can, hit the button to have it connect again. So that's kind of like the first place to look. If you're worried about.
Late, so they wouldn't be talking about that mess.
Let's also make sure we've all been muted. That'd be great. So in order to get to Docusign, you're going to go in under opportunities. So when you're in opportunities, there's a couple different ways to look at it. The first thing you see for your pipeline is this divided out into the, the graphic section. You can also hit this all opportunities, and you've probably gone over this in a previous day. This is all the opportunities you have in your pipeline listed out. And this goes into your details section. We can go ahead. I'm pretty sure you all have already done this, but just in case, let's go ahead and do we'll just set it up from the beginning. We'll set it up as a new opportunity. And we'll do it as a buyer.
Here, go outside. Go outside. Come here. Come here, go outside.
So if you're setting this up as a buyer, the details section is where you can change the name if you need to. When it's a buyer, it's a buyer. Once they're under contract, you would change the name to the address of the property, at least the street and house number. That just makes it easier for the MCA to pay you. So you want to make sure you do anything you can to make it easy for them to pay you. You're going to go into documents.
How do you change the name from buyer to?
Great question.
I've never done that.
Okay, so you right here under general information, you can click this little pencil, and then it's going to show you opportunity name right there. You can change it to the
So it's better to use the address of the property, probably.
Well, if you're dealing with a buyer, you're not going to have an address yet. It'll just be your buyer client. But once you're under contract, you want to change the opportunity name to the address because it makes it easier for your MCA to find everything in the system.
Okay,
If when the check comes in, because a lot of times it doesn't have the person, the agent's name or anything. So you just want to make it easy for them to pay you.
okay.
So you're going to go into documents. The first thing you're going to want to do is pick your checklist type. Yours may look a little different if you don't have different states, but they don't really default. So if you pick the state you're working in. And so what it should do is it's going to show you your required documents. So we're working with buyer, so we need to have the buyer agency agreement. These are conditional, which means you may not have to give them, but most likely you do. Your disclosures on mortgage companies and title companies, if you have them in your office, it just lets you know what the documents are you're looking for. And then once you're ready to go, you're going to hit start a transaction. And it's blocking pop-ups for me. Hold on a second. Just put this stuff down here. Yeah, let me try to figure out who's needs to be muted. Can everybody just kind of go through and check their stuff and see if you're on mute? Okay, I think we got it. All right. All right, so there we go. All right, so the first time you log into Docusign for the day, it's going to have you go through the password stuff. And if I'm lucky, it won't ask me to authenticate. We'll see. Yay. Okay. So the first time you log into the room, it's going to show you, it's going to take you right here. Sometimes your stuff will auto-populate. Sometimes it's going to be empty. But I generally find that the easiest way to have everything, and what I mean by that is your documents. Sometimes you'll pop in and it'll auto-populate your required documentation. It did it for a while and then it didn't. So if you start a new document and you find things here automatically, it's gone back to auto-populating, which is nice. But the first thing you want to do, just get in the habit of going to details first and filling in the information on your on the account that's going to be the same across the board. So this is, if we're working with buyers, with Docusign, it pulls things over from Command, but Command has to be told to pull things over from Docusign. So it will automatically pull changes that you make in Command over to Docusign, but it's not going to pull them into Command unless you tell it to. So we want to make sure that you have the most up-to-date information all over. And so if we were working with buyers, when we first came in here, we really wouldn't have an address. But if we want to edit this form, we'll just click edit. And we're going to pull out the address because we don't know it yet. And then we're working with the buyers, so we don't have the seller's things. We don't have the MLS ID. We don't know our address yet. So if you just kind of go down here and you got your seller's information and you just fill in what you know. So we know that here's our buyer's name, which has come over. If you filled in their information from Command, it would be there. But you just fill in what you know, whatever you don't have. whatever doesn't show up automatically. Then you're going to come down here. Your information should auto-populate with what you have in command under the buyer agent. And your emails, your office information. And then you want to come down. If you're working with somebody else, you can fill them in as buyer agent 2. And you want to fill in your broker. I really wish that this would auto-populate, but for some reason it doesn't.
And if there is missing information from your like buyer agent, would that be under profile that like my cell number is missing? So would I go back to my profile on my command and double check that it's in there?
Yes, that would be
Okay.
a great place to look.
Okay.
It's also, sometimes it puts it in a different place. See, it says my business phone number is my cell phone.
Yeah.
So which to me is not a big deal because it's all the same.
But mine's got the office number, but not my cell. So it's missing. So I'll go into profile and see what the deal is.
You should be able to find that, yeah, in profile. Or if not, sometimes you can change it in white pages and it'll update it where it needs to too. So once you have like your details information in here, I'm just going to say this because I do it all the time. Click save. It will let you go back into documents and move, and then you've lost everything you've just put in. So you kind of want to get to the habit of looking at the bottom. I can't tell you how many times I've, gone from here, clicked into documents, and then been like, oh, I have to type it all again. Click save. It's fine if there's a problem updating. It just doesn't like that I deleted the name, but it should keep everything else. So then we go into documents, and we want to add some documents to our room. If you want to add them from your computer, you can either click upload documents, or you can go right over here to add. And you can add them from your computer. You can add them Docusign forms. Some people are still using zip forms, so that's how you can get them in there. So there's a couple different ways. But today we're doing our basics agency agreements. So we're going to click Docusign forms. And then your market center should also have it set up where you have some groups up here. So if I know it's a buyer agency, so I'm going to click buyer agency, and these are going to be the required documents for buyer agency. If you're looking for other documents, they have them set up where we've got these are our listing agreement, our listing documents. Once we're working with the buyers and we're ready to write a contract, we're going to go into purchase. I'm also licensed in West Virginia, as I said earlier. So these are our buyer agents, and we have the exact same ones. And then we have agents who are also licensed in Maryland, so they'd have 3 more sections down past that. Today we're working with buyers that are in Virginia. So these are the documents that we would need. So there's 2 ways. If you're looking for other documents, those are going to be down here. These are the documents from the West Virginia Real Estate Commission. These are the documents for my market center. So you should have something that looks similar with your market center number on there. These are my documents from NVAR, and these are the documents from Virginia Association of Realtors.
So I'm sorry to stop you, but maybe I missed something. I've never used Docusign. Typically, I have all of my clients do everything through transaction desk. But are you saying that I can have them sign through Docusign and the forms will populate here in the library, or do I need to do an extra step to get those forms in this library?
If you have once you've signed up with Docusign and you have your our DS number in here, they should, if you're a member of a real estate association, they should show up here already. Like these are the documents that have been loaded by DAR. So they'll be here for you to be able to use and fill out.
Okay, so they have the buyer broker agreement, listing agreement, purchase
everything.
agreement.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have
okay.
all of the documents that I have access to as a real estate agent for NVAR, VAR, my market center, and the Eastern Panhandle Board of Real Estate Agents. So
So I just have to go in and play with it and take a look, I guess.
yes. Mhm. And
Okay,
so if you're trying to make sure if it's the right document, you can click over here under preview. And it's going to show you what the document looks like so you can confirm that it's the right one. So you're like that, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So you can just click out of that. You can load them individually, or you can load them all at the same time. So obviously loading them all at the same time, you're going to click this, it'll load everything at once. If you haven't, if you're new, you haven't filled out templates. So that's what this is. That's a class for a different day, but if you're interested, let me know. I'll be happy to show you all about it. It kind of
Okay.
auto-populates all your information later.
Okay.
And when you're ready to pull those in, yeah. And so they should be there already for you. If for some reason they're not, reach out to your tech trainer, and they can help you get those put in. If your tech trainer isn't, I'm happy to help as well. So you're welcome to reach out to me if you go into Docusign and don't see that they're there.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. And you hit add selected, and they're going to put those documents into your room. And now the nice part is this is the easy part. So now you just start through and fill them out. Click on the document. It's going to open up for you. Oh, here, I'll put my email in the chat. Okay, so now you're going to fill in your date. Hey, look, I remember 2023. And you're going to fill in, these are buyers, and hopefully at some point you're going to go over the contracts and things with your trainers at your market center. But you're going to fill in the information. Your firm name generally is going to auto-populate for you. And you're going to just go down the form and fill in the information that you need to fill in. And then make sure that you're filling in the blanks that you're supposed to. Some just end up being left out. So once you've filled out your form the way you need to, come down here and check. Oh, look, now the broker name didn't auto-populate. That's frustrating. I'm gonna leave his email off on purpose and show you how to do something later. All right, so.
So if before you go any further, if I pull the documents in, but then it says the content is blocked, it's not even letting me see the forms. What might that be?
It says what is blocked?
The content is blocked.
And did you take them in from Docusign, or did
Yeah,
you
I
bring them
did.
in from your computer?
No, I took it in for I did the Docusign. It says content is blocked. Contact the site owner to fix the issue.
Okay, so and obviously you're connected.
Yep.
It could be that this is a great question, because it could be that your NRDS number is not put into Docusign. So let me show you, and just let me get out of this document.
Okay.
And I'll tell you where to find that.
I mean, if it's something I could do on the side, I don't want to take up.
Oh no, that's actually, I think it's important to know.
Okay.
So so when you're done with this document and you filled everything out, you're going to hit save and close. And if that is something you're worried about, you can go up to, let me try to remember where it is. Go into managing your profile. Hold on, sorry, guys, I'm at my children's school and it's the county email. It's not the greatest. I mean, it's slow, their internet. Apparently it's very slow this morning. All right, I'm gonna do it again, see if it'll let me in faster. It doesn't let me in. There is a space in there when you fill out your profile information, you can upload your headshots, you can fill out that information. And there's going to be a place in there for your NRDS number, and you want to make sure that that number's in there. Because even if you have access, if that number's not in there and filled out properly, your access could disappear, because that tells you which forms you get. And if you were to join a different state's association, it would not give you those forms until that was filled out. So so you look through here, check, make sure all of this stuff is correct, that that's your, your home office if you're a part of more than one. You're going to go into, I believe it's the connected apps. That one, and then let's see. Oh, come on. Hold on. Just have to remember where it was. I thought it was connected apps. Maybe it's someplace else. The place where they've connected.
I didn't see it either, that's why.
That's why I'm utterly confused. Yeah, that's it. It was in here and now they've made updates. And moved it. I know. It's so much fun.
Well, this is actually probably a
Yeah,
real
that's where
world
we
example,
can,
because
yes.
we are having to go through this kind of stuff. So it's good to show that it's not always just as easy as 1, 2, 3 sometimes.
Right. No, that's yes. And that's the odd part, is that it was like the easiest thing in the world to find before. And now it's not.
But that's what you think it is. So as long as I find
I
out
think
where
it's
my,
that your NRDS number hasn't
Okay.
been input in there, and I've got to,
Okay.
yeah. So I'll
I'll make
figure
a
it.
note of it. All right.
Yes, please. Yeah, sorry about that, but that's
all right.
what I needed.
You can always contact Rachel Baker. She can help you.
Yeah. Yeah. Good old Rachel. Yep.
Under preferences, hold on, I'll look one more place. Yep. I'm pretty sure it's under here. Maybe this is why. So integrations. Yep. Okay. So
Dashboard. Okay.
there it is. So it's under dashboard, and yes, I'll show you how I got here. Yeah. So
That's okay.
so you want to make sure that the National Association of Realtors is on here, and your company forms, which is going to be your, your business center or your market center. And these are the integrations that I think Scott Leroy just sets it up. But when you click this, if it sees National Association of Realtors, see how the member ID, this is, when you try to hook it up with National Association of Realtors, it's going to ask you for your member ID, what's your last name, and that's how you're going to do that. So if you
Okay.
go in there and it's not the National Association of Realtors, so this also shows you Virginia Association, Eastern Panhandle. But if your member ID, which is your NRDS number, is in there, if you join another association, it will auto-populate your forms and you don't have to do anything. So, and this is telling me it's changed because I paid my West Virginia dues, and so they're happily giving me access to forms. So this is, it's under preferences,
Got
not
it.
profile. My bad. It's the profile under preferences. Sorry about that.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to go back to dashboard, which is our rooms. Just this is where we were. So if you hit dashboard on your rooms, it's going to give you a list of every single room that you're in. But we're going back into the one where we were. So we're going to go back to our documents. We filled this out. We've filled out all these forms like we need to, and we are going to, now we're ready to mail them to our client. So I want to make sure I'm going to go into people and see, these are the people that have access to it. See, I'll show you how to find these people later, but okay, so we're gonna go back to documents. We're gonna set up an envelope. So if you're mailing a letter to somebody, you call it, you put it in an envelope. So that's how Docusign has named these things. So if you're gonna put it in an envelope, you're sending it to somebody for signature. So you will pick the individual items that you want to put in your envelope to send for signature. And you're going to click this. If you're curious about what these are, you can just hover over them. But you can, this creates an envelope. This, it's a pen for signature. So you're going to click create an envelope. And who are you sending this to? So you need to think through all the people that need to sign it. Well, my broker needs to sign it. And I have one buyer. You know, I'm not sending this to the sellers yet. I added the name of a second buyer, but we're pretending I didn't because I don't have a fake email address in there for them. So, and you're going to hit continue. So it's going to give me, it's giving you a preview of these are the documents that you're sending. So you can, you know, you can view the document to make sure it's what you wanted. You've got a few more options here. If you want to replace it with something else, if you need to do something with it, you can do that. Those three little dots, you know, give you all kinds of things. You can add more documents if you didn't put everything here. If you need to add something from your computer, you can do that as well. And then these are the recipients that I've already chosen. And right now they're set with a signing order. So right now my broker is going to get this first. And then once he has signed it, it will go to my client. Typically, I wouldn't do it that way. I would want my broker to sign it first. So I would change the signing order. I mean, I would want the client to sign it first. So I'm going to change the signing order. If it didn't matter, they had to sign it in order and I wanted to do them both at the same time, I can turn that off and then it's just going to send everything at the very same time. If I need to change an email address, just on the off chance I accidentally hit send, then my poor broker doesn't get this wondering what I'm doing. But this is, so you can, this is going to be their name. You can just verify what you need to do. You can also, if you are using a transaction coordinator and they just need to get a copy of this, instead of need to sign, you can let them know that they can receive a copy if they just need to view it. I had clients whose son, they wanted their son to get copies of everything so that he could see it, or he could just know what was in the contract because he was living in the house that they were selling. So I sent him copies that he could just view it, everything that we sent. If you don't know the email address and they need to write it, you can put specify recipients. Do you want to allow somebody to edit it? If they need to sign it with a notary, it is possible. These are not features that just Keller has. These are Docusign features that anybody can use. So since Docusign is made for a whole bunch of different industries, there are some features that you probably will never use.
Patty,
Yes, ma'am.
sorry. What's the difference in receiving a copy and I'm trying to think what the other one was, just to view?
Viewing it. Receiving a copy, I'm pretty sure that that means that they're going to, once it's all signed, that they will get a copy of this totally signed document. And viewing, they may not send a copy when it's done, but they can look at it. Like they just want the option to be able to read it or something, it's fine. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think they
usually,
send them a copy at the end.
if I'm sending signed documents to the other agent, I've been using send a copy because I know that they're not signing it. They've got to get it to their client. Is there a better way to do that?
I think it's a great way to do it because when that they're not going to get it until everything's signed.
Right.
So they'll get it, they'll get a copy, right? And I think that's fine. It means when everything is signed, they will send them a signed copy of the doc, like in their email.
Right.
So
Okay,
that's
thank you.
a way to do, yes, sure. And you can save it and send it yourself, but sending them a copy sometimes just saves a step.
I have a quick question, which is, I sent one of a buyer agreement to my PC coach to view before it's being sent. And there are a few changes we need to make in the document. So how do I go back to the document to make the changes without messing everything up? And then I am assuming I need to, I don't know, I guess I'll have to check and see if I need to send it to her again. It's just a few little changes, or then just send it to the buyers.
So there's two ways to make changes in a document. Any changes you make in an envelope are only to those documents in the envelope. Any changes you make in the document section of Docusign will be in that document forever until you change them again. Does that make sense?
Do you mind saying that one more time? 'Cause
Yeah,
it
no
didn't-
problem. I don't mind at all. I'm going to show you. There are two different ways to make changes. If I
Okay.
go back into the room where my documents are sitting and make changes in there, it will stay with that with that document and every copy of the document that gets sent out in perpetuity forever.
Okay.
If
Great.
I make the changes in the envelope, which I'm going to show you how to do in just a second, is like last second because I'm doing through the last thing and I was like, oh wait, I forgot to fill this out, or this is wrong, or it skipped something, I didn't see that. I'm going to show you how to do that. Any changes you make in an envelope will only be in the documents in that envelope. So once you stick them in the envelope, the changes you make will only stay in the envelope. They won't go back. They won't be in the document that's in the room. Are you following me?
I am. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to get into the brain of Docusign and understand how that makes a difference in terms of if I'm just going to send it, like, do you have a recommendation of which way to do it or which is the best way to, because obviously I want the changes to go into perpetuity, but it's for the purposes of signing the document, they need to just sign it.
Well,
So-
if you were going to, if you were sending a document like a contract to somebody and then they, signed it and you needed to make a change, like once they sign it and it's, signed and ratified, any changes you make are going to be to that signed document anyway.
Right, but it's not
then go
signed.
and make the change on the original.
Right, but it's not signed yet. It's just that my coach viewed it. So, and she doesn't sign it. So it's not, there's no signatures. I just need to make a few tiny changes and then send
I
it.
would, in a circumstance like that, I would go back to the original room and then send it. You're going to have to set up a new envelope anyway to be able to send it to your clients.
Okay,
When you're done, you're going to have envelope after envelope after envelope after envelope, and it's okay because if you need to change the name of an envelope, right here is where you can do that. Well, it's going to change it down here now at the add message. Whatever you do for your subject line is going to go up here. So it's important that it be something. Otherwise, it used to just say, please Docusign. And now at least they give you a subject of what the first document that's in there, which is nice. So it gives you half a chance instead of just 15 envelopes of please Docusign. and you had to go into each one to figure out what was in there. Now you can at least have a general idea of what was the first document.
Right. You
if
mind
did-
showing me?
Go ahead,
in-
I'm sorry.
Do you mind showing me where we're gonna make this change in the
I'm
document?
going to show you right now. Yeah.
Oh.
So let me show you how you would do it if you were sending, this is how you're sending these documents. So I come down here when I'm doing this, there are people who still read email subject lines. So I type in, please read and Docusign,
Okay,
just because it makes me feel better. I don't want people signing things they haven't read, even if I've already gone over, I go over my documents in person with people and then,
Yeah, you had the old one?
And then-
I don't send them.
hold on, let me try to get
Just,
this.
yeah, just do the ones that's about to upload upcoming. Yeah, don't worry about the ones that's fast arrival.
Let's
That too.
see.
Including hands.
Okay.
So we get to write him like a really special.
Oh my gosh, let's not do that for him.
Let's do it. Like, just make
We
it
just,
bigger.
let's
Then just
see.
Oh my god.
all this stuff. Drive us insane.
Okay.
Nope. Let's see.
Oh my gosh.
That worked. Okay, great. All right. So I go in and change to please read and Docusign because I go over all my documents with my clients beforehand so that they can just quickly click, click, click and sign. You can type in your message if you want to. And any changes you make here are going to be reflected in the title up here. So that will be the line, the subject line on your email, but it will also help you figure out what's in each package. So you can change it or not, it's up to you. Once you have filled out all your information, does it need to be in order? Who's getting what? You're going to click next. And that is going to take you into your document. And
oh,
up here on the left-hand side is whose view are you seeing?
right,
So your sample client, these are the different people party to this that need to be filling out, that you're filling out information for. So your client is going to be in yellow, and this is my broker, he's going to be in blue. So if this is all colored blue, I'm putting in things for my broker. If I change this to yellow, anything I add is going to be for my client. So I'm going to go down through this.
so
and-
if I could just ask you real quickly, how do you make it a universal change so that you don't have to go in and do the same change to your client and then
both
your,
sides. Right. So that's what I'm going to show you. Okay. So the brokerage mailing address is not in here. Oh dear, I forgot that. Well, everybody needs to see that. So now I'm going to go down to this pencil right here, which is a pre-fill tool, and I'm going to click on that. So if it's gray, everyone's going to see this. So I need to add the brokerage address. So that's going to be text. I'm going to click text, and I'm going to bring it over here and pop it right there. And go over to add text. And I can add my brokerage address. And then this box doesn't fit properly. And so I'm just gonna pull that and change the size. Then I need to add, and oh, this is a new feature. Yay. You can just click on the box itself and just add what you need. So we have a suite.
and what if you need to delete something that's there?
You click on the box. Oh, that's, yes, I'll show you the fake whiteout in just a second. So then you have your thing and then zip code and the phone. I can add the things I need to add. The email here is usually my broker's email. So, but we'll just. So then if you do need to delete something that's already there, it looks like it's letting you edit. Apparently we did make quite the, you can just click right here and start editing it as you need to. if you go someplace and you need to change, let's say, need to change the wording of a contract. If you click line, if it's not one of the pre-filled things and you need to change something in a contract, you're going to click line and you're going to click the front of the thing you need to change and you're going to go to the end of it. Now, if this was a contract and you were changing the amount, you would leave that red line there so that everybody could see this is different. And now it's, you can take the text box and put your new wording over the top of it. So if this was a contract and you were changing the amount, you know, you'd change it to the new sales price of $450,000. If you needed to white something out and make it completely different, so then you can click this line that you've made in red. You can change the thickness of the line to make sure that it's covering all of your words. Then you come to color, change the color to white. So it's basically white out. Then you hit the text box. And type in your new text. And then you can adjust the size if you need to. But that's a way that you can make that change. Now, this is on a document that has been uploaded into Docusign. So in a few moments, I'll show you something. You can upload PDF documents, and then what we just did is what you're going to have to do. So if you have a document on your computer, like a contract that's already been sent for signature and you're the listing side, and so now you have to do that, that's what you would do. You would go into the pre-fill tools down here and you would make the changes you needed to make, do the lines, you know, lining through things and making changes that way.
Okay,
Are you following that? Okay.
I'm definitely following that.
Okay.
I
This
would-
is lovely. This is different since yesterday. So how nice.
And so you're saying that if there's something in the text that needs to be deleted, I just have to go into the text box and now I can delete it. Like I have the wrong number for something. It should be 60.
Right. Apparently it looks like you can just click the
Okay.
box and do it now. You don't have to change it. Yeah. The long way anymore. So that's very nice.
Okay, that is very nice.
Yes.
And
Scotty,
Yes,
could I
yeah.
follow up quickly on, I think, Jan's original question and see if I'm on the right track? If we need to make a change that is specific to the document, to that transaction, like I typoed the dollar figure or the date or something, then we can go into the document. But if we're fixing something that carries through the whole transaction, such as I misspelled somebody's name or their mailing address, then go to the details so that it would carry across the board.
Or fix it in the room. Right now, I'm still in the envelope. I'm about to
Okay,
send this
right.
signature. This is like my last second thing. If you go fix it in the room itself, it will stay there across the board the entire time. Yeah. And be on every subsequent. So if you're filling out, you know, you spelled the buyer's name wrong and you fix it in the room, it will always be spelled right. If you fix it right before you send it, you just have to remember to go back into the room and fix it as well, or it's always going to be spelled wrong.
What do you suggest as best practice? Should we just fix it in the room so that it
I think
follows through?
it honestly depends on what it is. If it's you forgot to check a box, you know, right before you send it for signature, just check the box and go back into the room when you're done and check the box there in case you need, because it's a contract, you need to send it again if it doesn't get accepted or something. But if it's, I think either way is acceptable. You just want to make sure that you remember that it's not gonna carry over if you didn't change it there.
And then go back and, okay.
Yeah.
So the room, permanent one. Correct? The room is the more permanent one.
Anything that's in the document in the room is going to carry over until you change it. So yes, but once they've signed it, honestly, the truth of the matter is if you're fixing it right before they sign it and they're going to sign it and that's the end of it, it doesn't really matter because once they sign it, Docusign is going to turn it into a PDF.
Oh, right.
And that's it. Like so that any changes you make moving forward are obvious to everybody that they're different.
Oh, now that makes it crystal clear. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Okay.
thank you.
Sure. Because you don't want people making changes to contracts after you've signed them, and this is how
Right.
you
Yeah.
prove that they didn't. Mhm. So, so you've got, all these things to go through. You double check your document. I find it best practice to double check the document before I send it for signature. Look at all the boxes, make sure everything's filled out, make sure nothing got missed. It will just read it again, just to go through and make sure you don't see anything blank. I actually kind of think this is very, very nice because it also then tells me that that I didn't fill it out, but I also I can see what documents what I touched. And so then I can, if I miss something, I'll see it that again because it's highlighted. If you are using the pre-fill tools and you're adding these radio boxes, click this or click this, the rules are over here. It tells you whether or not it's required. So do you apply that, if you look over here under radio group, does it apply to all recipients? What are the rules? So, how many, you can add more. If I need to add a third, I can put it here and then, stick it next to the thing that they're doing. I can also delete that. So anything in pre-fill tools, if I try to fill it out here, it's probably not going to let me just pick one of these boxes because it thinks I'm trying to edit. If you need to go back to your sample client, like now I'm back to just for that client, you go back up to standard fields and you'll know because it'll change the color of everything. So you just want to come down, you've confirmed everything's been filled out properly, and then here are your signatures. If you're on, well, I'll just start there and you can fill everything out. Now I need to add my email for my broker. This is not his email, but so we're good there. That doesn't change it anyplace else but here. And so when I'm ready to send, you go up here to hit preview. If you want to see what the experience is going to be like for your client, this tells you which client is going to see it. And when they go through, this is what they're going to see on a computer. They can hit start. It's going to take them, they need to sign here. They need to sign here. So they're going to hit the button. You're going to go all the way through. This is the other reason you go over it with them, because it does go through this quickly. When they're done, they're going to be able to hit this finish button. You can't because you're not signing for them. And then when you're
I'm
done,
sorry, how did you get to the preview? I missed that, Scotty.
no problem. Right here, preview. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's up. And if you're looking for more of like a broad, what's the next step? It's either going to be at the bottom or at the top with Docusign. And then I can go here and change to my broker and see how he's going to see it. If I click preview, I want to see, he fills stuff out on his phone. He doesn't, but if he did, this is what it'll look like when he gets the documents on his phone. This is the experience on a telephone. So if I want to see what it looks like on an iPad, click the one in the middle. This is the experience on an iPad. So they can read through it. They can just hit start and sign. They have choices. So you can see kind of what's the experience going to look like for them. It just gives you you don't have to preview it every time. It just gives you an idea if you want to see. And when you're ready to send it, you can go through and delete pages here. There's a section that has like the DPOR at the end. Actually, I believe it's this one. So it's going to show you where you are. These little lines right here are telling me there's a signature required on that page. So it gives you just a heads up in case you have a page that that page is blank or there's supposed to be something they have to fill out, and oh dear. So there's a signature required. See, two people have to do stuff, and then this is just everyone, there's text. So if you know there's signature required and there's only one color on here, you know something might have been missed. But you can go to each individual document, the useful information. No, it's this one, it's the sum one. So the end of the sum one is this DPOR form. Well, if I'm sending it during my buyer's agency process, it doesn't matter, they don't need it. So what I generally do is click delete and get rid of that one. It only deletes the page in the envelope because they don't need to sign it yet. We haven't actually found a property. So I just pull that one off, but you can delete it right here and it doesn't change anything in your room. It doesn't change anything in the documents. It just gets rid of it. So when you're ready to send, you just hit send and it goes. If you click here, you can send it later. I've actually never played around with that because by the time I'm doing this, I just want to send it and get it over with. So that's how you deal with an envelope. I don't want to send it to everybody, but you click it back, it saves the changes that you've made. And save and close, or you can discard it, save and close it in case we need it. So you're asking, highlight the areas the buyer needs to sign an initial, or is there a way to send instructions for each section to complete? What do you mean by instructions? Like explaining it to them, or do you mean?
Yes, so as a new agent, I was just wondering if once with Docusign, is it highlighted in for each area for them to initial and sign? Or you're also letting the buyer know to, hey, in section 1 of the form, sign this box. In section.
Yeah, did you see the preview? Like you can, if you click that preview, you can see exactly the experience that your client's going to have when they.
Yes, I typed the chat before we got
that's okay.
to.
No, I wanted to, it's okay. I figured maybe, but I just wanted to make sure that you like got the answer that I answered the question you were actually asking.
Yes.
Yeah, so it takes them directly to the next thing. So if you haven't gone over it with them, it might take longer. If there's someone who reads everything, it's why I like to go over stuff, because I just want to make sure that they know what they're signing. Because there's parts of it that can be a problem if they don't actually realize what they've signed. So when you click envelopes now, when you go in, you can see every envelope you've got for this particular transaction. Let me show you. I will go back into rooms and I'll show you a transaction is see if I can show you something that has, that's an actual transaction that's closed, so you can see kind of what the envelopes could look like by the end. Is it rentals? Let's see. So you've got lots of envelopes. Gives you a general idea of what's in here. This one was voided. It's letting you know I've changed titles and things like that. You can tell that I've changed. The ones I changed don't have the document number on the end of them, but so that should kind of give you an idea of what you can end up looking like. And you can see when it used to just say, please Docusign, it would be very confusing. So you'd have to go into each one to try to find something. What? Okay, so you've got your envelopes in, or you've got your documents, it's out for signature. They've sent things back. I actually should have stayed over there so that you can see the difference. I'm going to show you what the difference, what the documents look like when you go into a room that has a lot of documents. When you get your documents back signed in your room, it puts them back automatically. You can click, when you see this certification, every single document that gets signed is going to have a certification with it. That's just letting you know that it was, the IP address and all the information that they need in case there's an issue with where, who signed it, where were they, what time, when, that kind of thing. If it's a PDF, this means it's a non-modifiable document. So if you see that red, it's going to be a PDF. It just needs to be treated differently. If you have, if it's green check mark, that's telling you that it's signed. If it's blue and it says form, this is a document that you can edit inside Docusign very easily. So this is a modifiable document. So all of these are their signed listing agreements. Here's the original listing agreement amendment. So the signs, these are signed. You can see the difference between them. So if this can be a little overwhelming, this is a lot of documents and which one's where and where can you look for it. So the way to get around that is to create folders. So you can see here that I have certifications and they've all been in, I put all my certifications in one folder because for me, it just gets messy when you're looking at stuff. So you close that by that. These are all the listing documentations. So I can go in and these are all the documents from the listing. So I can close these folders out and I won't see any of these documents from listing. And then these are all the documents that are left back in the room. So the way to create folders, if you need to, is you come over here under actions and you've got your 3 little dots and you can add a folder to the room. And so you can add a folder that's called, here, we'll just go ahead and call it forms. Actually, we'll just call it signed. We'll create that folder. And so here's our folder. It's got no documents in it. So I want to put these things that are signed. I'm going to go through and choose all of the documents that are signed.
So Scotty, you would make a folder essentially for each transaction?
The way the documents are set up inside Command, where it's your buyer's agency agreements, and then it's your contract, and then it's closed. Some people just set the folders up for that so that they have them set up like that. Some people don't do folders at all, and they just have all that stuff there. I tend to do it with all my certifications in one, all of my, the agency agreements in another, and the contract agreements in another. Or just however it works out for me at the time. I just because I'd like to go into the room and not see documents I don't need anymore.
Okay.
You can call it anything you want. Nobody is going to come into your room in Docusign ever. So set it up in a way that makes it look good to you and don't worry about it. I mean, there's very little reason for somebody to come in. Now, you have the ability at the moment to delete documents. I highly recommend you not do that. Because if you delete stuff now, we're talking about licensing issues with how long things need to be kept and stuff. So, which is why the folders can be great. You can literally just call it, stuff I don't want to deal with, or I'm done with it, call it done and throw the stuff you don't need anymore in there just so that it, kind of keeps it, you can see what you need to deal with now and what you don't then.
So you're putting in the folder anything that's not in the placeholder.
It's not in the room itself.
Right, that's not necessarily needed in the room itself. It goes into to be seen.
I just want to get it out of the way.
Okay.
But you may want to put all your stuff in the, you may want to do it a different way. You can do it any way you want to, but this is how you do folders, and you can put anything you want in it. So well, there's another question. Let's see. I do not believe so, but I'm going to check that in just a second about changing the name of the envelope. So anything I want to put into this folder is I've highlighted it. And so I want to move it. So I'm going to go here and click move. Now this is where it gets dumb. So select the destination. You first have to say that it's a folder in the current room. And then what folder did I want to put it in? Signed, because these are the folders I have. I want to put it in this folder. And then I'm going to move it. Oh, but I can't move it because your stuff is in my corner. And then I'm going to move it. And now, oops. If I go to in here and I look at the top, here's my folder with signed, and all my signed stuff is in there. And I can close that so I don't have to look at it. And now the only thing in my room is my room docs. So
Scott, how do you sort the order of the documents?
it's going to put them in alphabetical order by whatever the name of the document is. If you want to change the name of the document, I can right click on this. I can right click on the document and I can rename it.
There's no drag and drop feature.
You can drag stuff. Ugh. You can drag it around, but it doesn't usually let you change the order because it's going to alphabetize. I wonder, you may be able to, because I never thought about it. You can look at it by list as well. Right here, you've got your grid view or your list view. So it's up to you as to how you want to look at it. And you can, click on it this way. I don't think you can drag and drop to move stuff into different folders. Like if I wanted to move this into one of these folders, well, you used to be able to, maybe you can't now with the new thing. Yeah, I don't think you can sort the order that they're in. Oh, except up here, you got your name A to Z, oldest to newest, you can do it that way. And how do you want to, find it? If you're looking for something, that's how you're going to look for the document itself. But if you want to change the name, if you right click on it and rename it, that would be how you could sort them. You can do it 1, 2, 3, 4 for the time, and then it's going to put it in order 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's always going to put them in alphabetical order. I don't think you can move them around that way. Now, if you have a document, let me go back into another sample document so that you can see, you can split a document apart. Okay, so I need to split a document, and you can do it with these, but you really want to do it with like a PDF. So the way I pulled that document out, let me see. I'm gonna add something from my computer so you can see it. And then I want to add something else. Okay, so if I need to split one page out of a document, I can highlight this and right click on the document and hit split. So it's going to break that document into all of the pages. And if I need to create a new document out of it, I can call the first document whatever I need to call it. And then I want pages 3 through 9. And then I want to add another document. I can call it this, and I want to do pages 2 through 5 and page 9. So I can do this as many times as I need to. It can overlap, it doesn't matter. And when I'm done, I hit save. And now I have the 2 documents that I saved still in PDF format, and my old document right here. So you don't lose anything. You still have your full document. And then I have the 2 that I have right here saved in PDF. If you have a document like a contract and you need to add a signature line because you need to send that in an envelope, you pull in your document, you pull in the new contract, whatever it is, and I need to sign that. I'm going to go into make a new envelope. You're just going to make a new envelope every single time. And I'm going to make that new envelope. And then it's not going to ask me who's signing because it doesn't actually know who needs to sign it. So I'm going to add recipients. If I don't remember my client's email, I can click here on this is my, contacts. Room participants, these are going to be the same every time. So I can go into room contacts. Just takes a second, always says there's nobody, but, and I can click on, these are my contacts. So I can click their names and apply that. And then whatever I want to call this, put in my message, I click next. Now, because this was a PDF, none of the things I put are going to sign up. So my buyer, I take signature and he needs to sign it down here at the bottom. So I'm going to have him sign it here. And then you're always going to add the date. And then if I need him to sign someplace else, I can come in here and maybe we made a change and to this part and he needs his initials. Now this initial box is really big, so it takes up a lot of space. I don't want it to be that big. I can make it smaller. So he's going to initial here. If I had 2 buyers, the next buyer could, once you change this box size, if it's in the same place, if I had 2 buyers and clicked initial again on the second buyer, it would make it the same size as this one. I wouldn't even have to resize it. And then I can go down and do whatever it is they need to do on each part of the page of the document. And when I'm ready to sign it, ready to send it, I can just hit send. So you can add in those spaces on a PDF or that you can upload something from your computer and do it that way. The auto populating is done by Docusign. If you notice that something's wrong, something's populating improperly, it used to put all my information in the broker spot. And it was really annoying to have to go back and fix it in certain different ways to make sure it showed right for the client. Let your tech trainer know. They can send the email to the right places to get that fixed. Every once in a while, stuff happens. If they make an edit, they might edit it wrong, that kind of thing. So, so that's kind of how you do it from a PDF standpoint. And how you split documents. I'm trying to think of anything else. And let me go back to the chat and make sure it explained. Oh, change the name of the envelope. Yes, I do not believe you can, but let's check and see. I don't think you can. You weren't previously able to.
I had to put myself on mute. What do you want? I don't have time.
Okay, she said she's not gonna let me
No.
Oh,
So you can't even get back in, once the document's been signed, you
all
can't
right,
even
yeah.
the envelope to see, you can't even go back into the envelope to see what the documents are. You can view the documents, but you can't, this is all you can do. You can copy this envelope, you can view the full envelope details, and you can view the envelope history, but it's not gonna let you make any changes to anything, including the name. So if you need to void an envelope because you sent it out, it's not right, you can make edits to your envelope until someone signed it. And then you're only going to be changing it for the people who have not seen it yet. And it gets really tricky. So once somebody signs something, if they perchance the first person finds an edit that needs to be made, a lot of times it's just better to go in and faster to just go in, make the changes and void the envelope so that everybody else can see it. Because once you send it out, if you right click on the name of the envelope, I just won't void it, but once you trying to get in the envelope so I can show you. So this had to be voided because I can't even remember why at this point. But if you need to void an envelope, you right click on it. No, you can't because they've all signed it. If there's one that's waiting for signature and they haven't signed it, you can right click on it, or you can go in and it can say, do you want to void it? You click void. It's going to make you say why. This tells you that it was voided when you click on it. And you need, we clicked on it because it was voided after the first person signed it. And then the second person was supposed to sign it, before the second buyer and my broker signed it, we voided it. I'm sure there was some kind of mistake on it or something. That they caught, or they changed their mind on something they wanted to ask for. So that it's going to ask you why, and they just like a quick little reason. Let's see what other questions. I think there was something else in the chat. Well, you have one. So Craig, are you on one command? Like you have command, do you choose which command? This happens, just X out of that, by the way, happens all the time. Do you just have one command, right?
Yeah, I just have one command, and when I go into opportunity, it will tell me to pick which market center.
Okay.
And then I select it, but I don't have any transactions or anything, so I'm not sure if, like, will everything I do be in this one Docusign room, or will it separate it by the two different market centers so that it doesn't get all mushy, or you know what I mean?
So everything you do will probably be on your Docusign dashboard, which is what you see here. So this is like, it sort of looks like your dashboard on command. Like these are the rooms I've been in recently. These are the signing activities. Do I have stuff waiting? So this person, this is waiting for signature. Any new messages that you have, I don't even know why I get messages here, but if you have them, that's where they'd be. And then I can go into, and this shows all of my different rooms. So I can then go into here, which is just the rooms in general. And these are all the rooms I have that are active currently. So so I can go into whichever room I want to. So the odds are it's probably going to do this, and you're just going to have all your rooms. And then you can go in and pick individually if you need to. But generally, if you're getting into Docusign from command, it's not really, you don't even really have to deal with dashboards and moving around and all that kind of stuff. I'm just doing this to try to get back and forth to show people what it looks like to have a whole bunch of different envelopes in one place.
Okay, thank you.
Hopefully, yeah, sure. If you go in through command, it'll link you directly to that room for those documents, and you may not ever have to deal with dashboards and all that stuff anyway.
Thank you.
Sure. So once you are done with your documentation and you are in Command, you need to upload your items for compliance. So you will go back into Command. You want to kind of get in this, like think in your head, CDC, Command, Docusign, Command. So you start in Command, go to Docusign, go back to Command. If you start a transaction, it is possible that you can start a room in Docusign. You will not be able to link it back to Command if you don't start in Command. So even though you might think you found this great workaround, you didn't, because you will not be able to see it from Command, and then it'll be a pain in the neck. So just start everything in Command. And so you're here, you're ready to upload your documents. There's two ways you can do it. You can download everything from Docusign into your computer, and then you just attach the files from your computer. So a typical way, you're going to browse, tell it where it is on your computer, and you're good to go. If you want to download it from Docusign, you still have to tell it which folder it's in. So if you've created a folder, they'll all show up here. If you didn't, it'll be room, they'll all say room docs. You tell it to go to room docs. Even if room docs is the only folder you have to tell Command, I still want you to get it from there. So, and then you're going to click which one. Now, the reason we have no options is because I have no PDF documents in this particular, I have no signed documents. If I had signed documents, it would list all the documents that are signed, and then I can pick which one needs to go there. And let's see, and that would give me, then it would, you pick the, whatever they're called, it will pick that from there. And when those are done and they're all uploaded, you can click submit to Market Center, and then that will send it to compliance. So those are all my consultation documents. Then the next set is under contract. So once we've found, we found a house, we put all that stuff in, I have to upload all of those documents and then send that to compliance. And then, so in each different section. So you can submit it to the Market Center, and then if they're sending notes back to you, you'll be able to see that, and is something missing, what have you. Does anyone have any questions? That was a lot.
No, I just need to go in and play with it because I learned by actually doing it. So
Absolutely.
if I do it a few times, I'll probably be able to get my rhythm.
Set yourself up as a client. Just set yourself. I mean, you can do a sample client too, but you can just set yourself up as a client and go in there, fill out a contract for yourself. You can say that you want to send it to your broker. If you change that email address to your own, go ahead and send yourself stuff to sign. We don't pay by the document. I mean, there's not extra fees. Just play around with it. Send stuff to your, your friends. If you've got friends who want to play with it, if you don't, send it to different emails. I'm sure you have more than one. If you send everybody under the same name with the same email, it won't make any difference. Nobody's going to see this unless you submit stuff to the Market Center. But don't hesitate to play with it and see kind of what can you find, what can you not find. My email address, if you need me to put it in the chat again, I'd be happy to do it. You're welcome to reach out to me. Your tech trainer can help you. They do make changes and kind of don't, I mean, I took the class from Docusign, certified Docusign trainer, and I had no idea they made those changes last night. So they're great, they're super awesome, but don't be surprised if you log into Docusign one day and it's totally different or just a little bit different from yesterday. But feel free to, I'm happy to help anytime if anybody needs it. So I think that's pretty much gone over all the spots we needed to go over. There's a lot more things you can do with it, but I think that's enough to start. And if you kind of want to know some other tips and tricks, you're welcome to reach out to me and I can give you some other things to save you some time.
I had a quick question about the folders in the rooms. When you set up those folders, can you set up default folders that will turn up in all your rooms, or do you have to set them up for every time you create a room?
Thank you. You did ask that earlier and I forgot to answer. I'm sorry. Folders are unfortunately have to be set up by room, which is lame. You can't set up like a default set of folders, unfortunately. It's lame, but that's just how they have it set up, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. And that could be a change that they're doing. So
When you
Um,
speak in terms of rooms, you mean in like each transaction, like 1, 2, 3, 4, Safeway, or 4, 5, 6 Silverman's, like the address of a property.
Yes, so
Okay.
every different opportunity has its own room.
Okay.
You
Gotcha.
click go to transaction in Command, it's taking you to your room in Docusign for that transaction only. It will take you only into that room. To get to that dashboard, you have to click more things in Docusign, but it's going to take you directly into the room for that transaction.
Hey, Scotty, I put in the chat, but you have monthly training?
We have this jumpstart into Command. I would be happy to do a monthly training if there was people that were interested in it. But I don't personally do monthly trainings, but we absolutely can. There's lots of trainings. Did they show you how to find trainings in Command? If you click on this little thing, the marketplace that looks just like your Facebook marketplace, there's a lot of trainings in there. Some you pay for, but lots that are free. If you wanted to get specific training on a specific thing, there's trainings in there on Docusign. There's trainings in there on different sections of Command. There's trainings in there on opportunities and smart plans and marketing and different things like that. So that's one place. Like I said, I'd be happy to do it too. I do trainings in my market center, but I'd be happy to jump on just individually with people too, if that was something they wanted to do.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure. There's also, I think on one of the days, Dave shared with you the link tree where you can see where the different trainings are. There's that as well. And if you don't have it, send me an email and I can shoot it over to you, where you can see the different websites for different things. And you can see all the trainings available, I think, in the entire region, or at least the region level trainings. I am going to stop recording. Oh, nope. I can stop sharing my screen. There we go. We'll start there. Okay.
Thanks very much.
Absolutely. I just want to make sure I'm respectful of people's time. So if you've got more questions, by all means, stick around. I'll be happy to answer them. If you don't, have a nice day. Happy Friday.